Yo, what's up, guys? I tried getting my other camera working because this one looks like fucking shit. Oh my god, it looks so bad, dude. I mean, like, what do I even do to improve that, right? Oh god. Anyways, hopefully I can fix that shit because god, it looks so awful. Anyway, yeah, playing with people who only chase high kills and let's just say pub stompers in general, right? The thing with that is there's obviously two different kinds of people that you could play with or that you can come across. Not two kinds, right? There's never just one and two, but there's a spectrum of them. I've noticed that most of them have the tendency to kind of they expect you to be on the same page as them. A lot of them kind of take up the mantle of like IGL in game leader, or they kind of have tendencies like they they want all of them kind of like want to go chase fights, right? Because that's what the purpose of it is, right? The purpose of it is to get high kills and to increase your stats, right? But what I noticed in my experience beforehand, like a long time ago, I used to play with one person who was like I would consider really bad. You know what I mean? Like not bad in the way you're thinking, like bad at the game, but like bad, like they were very annoying to play with because they would always push fights by themselves, and then they would leave right as soon as they died, or not even die, because what a lot of them do is they try to get as many kills as possible, right? And then they'll leave the game. And it's so annoying, dude, because as soon as they get downed, they'll leave the game. And now thinking back on it, that's probably what they were doing, is they were probably using me as like an anchor. You know what I mean? Like if they did no fill, they would have died already. Like there would be no, what do you call it? There would be no revive screen for them, right? So it gave them that little bit of time where they could uh, leave the game, And then thinking back on it is so annoying, dude. But I think that's what it was, is that they were just doing that. And it's so annoying, dude, because all they would do is they would just push so low, and then they would get like one guy down, and then they would just leave the game. And it would be so annoying because they're like, oh, I'll wait for you in lobby or whatever. And it's like, fucking no, you won't. They'll be annoying you the whole time, or they'll just leave. And God, that was some of the worst matches I've ever played were with those kind of people, right? So annoying because they didn't want their KD to go down, or yeah, exactly. They didn't want their KD to go down, and they wanted to fluff their stats. And oh my god, it's such a pain in the ass to play with people like that. So that's one kind. Those are the guys that are like bad at the game and then have bad habits like that, which make people not want to play with them, because they would stream, and then they would like want to be able to show off high kills and show off like a high KD, so like they could fake attract people. But then when they would actually play the game, obviously their skills would not reflect the gameplay, because they never had any like. Okay, so here's my problem with that, is you don't learn what you can push and what you can't push, right? Lately I've been falling into the habit of doing no fills and playing duos, right? And in that, you honestly you learn like what's in your range of confidence to push, what you feel comfortable pushing, and then you actually learn like what you're successful at pushing, right? So it really gives you a good game sense. It gives you a good game sense of what your skills are, what you can get away with, what you think you can get away with, and what you can't get away with, and what you think you can't get away with, right? So it's really useful. It's actually very useful for like getting your courage up and confidence, and then actually getting like a real honest assessment of like what your skills are in the game. But what I feel like is falling into those habits of getting kills and then leaving the game before your KD is done, is that I feel like you lose that valuable honesty and confidence. You know what I mean? Like it it like gives you a fake like sense of self or sense of confidence. I don't know. Well, you guys get what I'm trying to say, right? So it gives you this fake, not like, not real. And, I always hear from them is like, oh, well, when I actually play the game, like, when I actually play the game right, I know what not to push and what to push. And more oftentimes than not, you know, it can be true to a certain extent, but it's only because I feel like it's only because they've been playing so long, right? I think, it's a way to like stagnate and then like appear like you're better than you are while you stagnated behind, or like it's at the worst, it's a way to regress. At the best, it's a way to stagnate and then to like get like a high kill account. And at the worst, it's like you're regressing because you're learning bad habits. And that's my main problem with it is you're learning bad habits. And for me, I'm an honest guy, right? I don't like to portray myself as something else because I have in the past. And what happens is, sooner you're lying to yourself. You don't feel as good. You're lying to yourself, you're lying to others. Eventually you get exposed no matter what, even if it's on a small scale. Whether that's someone playing a game with you and going, "Oh, you don't deserve those kills or stats. I know you're a hacker or booster or something," or if it's someone on YouTube doing like a video about you, right? So to me, I don't even get into that kind of shit. You know what I mean? I think it's all smoke and mirrors, and you know, especially the people I knew were doing it like on stream and stuff, and it's like not on stream they were doing it, but they were streaming, and it's like, you're lying to your viewers. Like, how are you gonna build like an honest relationship with them, right? Like, how are you gonna like, and not only that, but like people can tell something's wrong. You know what I mean? Like people can see, oh, their movement or their aim or their game sense doesn't match up with how much kills they have. And let's say like you do have like a 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, 6.0, 3 to 7, whatever KD, right? If you play on the game and you're not getting consistent like kills like that, people will know. People will find out. And that can have the opposite effect of what you want, of where you're trying to showcase this high level of gameplay, this high KD level of gameplay, and you're not even anywhere near it. You know what I mean? Or like at best, you're like scratching like a little bit below it. Like, let's say you have a 6.0, 5.6 or something, and you're barely getting 1 to 3 kills a game. You know what I mean? How many times are you going to say, oh, I'm just having a bad day? And how many times is your stream going to let you get away with doing that, right? Because not only that, but like your fan base, whatever, like you're just building yourself up. You're building this, and what sucks is, let's say you have a good personality and all this other shit, right? And let's say you're like moderately successful at what you're doing, streaming or making YouTube videos. What happens is you become known in the community as something that you're not, and then when the image of you and who you really are don't match up, people are going to call that out and they're not going to like it, right? Like, like let's say someone lies and says they have hundreds of dollars, right? And then they really don't have anything. You know what I mean? Or they're like, I treat people really good, and then you see them with other people and they treat them like shit, right? You're like, you're a liar, and what does that do? That automatically turns you off to them because you don't know what they are, right? You don't know who they are. And with me, I believe that, if you look on my streams, you'll see, yeah, I'm not, there's some games where I die right off the bat. You know what I mean? There's some games I die right off the bat, and I do not feel bad about that. That doesn't hurt me because I know even the best of the best have that happen to them too, right? There's, whether it's in ranked or pubs, there's people that just get absolutely murdered out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't phase me, a little bit. It used to, it kind of does a little bit, but, I remind myself that, everyone dies, everyone, especially when you're streaming for hours, dude, like hours, like 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7, 8 hours. You're gonna have a couple bad games, right? You can't let that affect you. And I just think that if you just have that level of honesty, or even if you don't want to say anything, that level of transparency where you're not like, because I feel like that's the same thing. Honesty and transparency are like somewhat the same thing, right? Like, if you're transparent about what you do, then that's being honest and people know exactly what you're doing, and that's what you're doing, right? If you lie about what you're doing, you're saying one thing, but you're not, you can't show that you're actually doing it, right? So they're a little bit similar to me in this context, at least. Um, so for me, tying it back to the thing in the video, playing with people who chase high kills, then okay, so that's on the one hand, is that person that leaves the game, gets a couple kills, leaves the game before they get downed or killed, so that way they save their KD. That way they look like they have high kills and stuff. But they're really ruining it for other people. And how fun is that gameplay? I mean, maybe there might be some audience where like, and I get it too, like, if you're trying to like, let's say you're hot dropping at like Fragment East, right? And you're trying to get like a high kill, like you're trying to get a bunch of kills in like a short amount of time. Okay, that's one thing, right? That's something entirely different, right? And like, let's say you leave the game and you like, you just drop there again because you're trying to get a specific clip. You're trying to get a specific thing done. Yeah, I think that's something else entirely, right? I think if you don't present it as like, oh, I always do this, then that's fine. I personally have no problem with that. And you could take someone who does that and lands there 100 times and they never get anything out of it. But if you're able to like get like 6 kills or like 7 kills, 8 kills in like under a minute, that takes a lot of skill, or that takes a level of skill. You know what I mean? That's cool to watch too. So I don't have anything against that. I don't have anything against that. And if you live stream that, that's something. You know what I mean? And then if you're honest about it, that's something. That's something entirely different. As long as you don't brag about having a high KD when you leave games, that's fine. In my opinion, that's fine, right? But okay, so that's a little bit of a variant of what I'm talking about. But on that one hand, we have the person who fluffs their kills, fluffs their KD, leaves the game, that kind of stuff, ruins it for everyone else. And playing with those people is not fun. At least for me, it's very stressful. It's very annoying. I don't like it. What's up, Kitty? Ooh, that's a lover boy right now. That's a lover boy right now, huh? That's a lover boy. That's a lover boy. Okay. On the other hand, though, someone who I recently met, he, you know, he kind of is, like I said, on the same page. He expects you to be on the same page, right? Expects you to be like about the goal. The goal is to get high kills. The goal is to kill, loot up, go to the next place, find more kills, find another team to fight, right? At times it can be annoying. At times it can be stressful, but it's a very low level of stressful. It's a very low level of annoyance with this person, right? Because he has a little bit of understanding to him. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you messed up. Okay, maybe you have a good reason for it, or maybe you acknowledge you did something wrong, and then you move on. He moves on. You get over it, right? It's all laughs. It's good times. All the 99% of the other time. That's not bad to play with. You know, chasing high kills like that and trying to get your KD up like that, and like three stacking, right? Compared, look, tie back to one of my other videos, three stacking, and the communication, right? Communicating, and then that enables you to even get those high kill games, in my opinion, right? So, all right. So, Playing with someone like that and then getting your KD up like that and then getting, high stats like that, that to me is something that's a lot more honest than that other person that, leaves the game before they get killed. So that way their KD stays up, who only gets like 1 or 2 kills, but they do a lot of games where they do that. So their KD goes up unnaturally and that kind of dumb shit. Playing with someone who, is high level, high skill, and that you both are focused on that same goal, that's something that's a lot more honest to me. That's something that's something I wouldn't feel bad putting out, you know what I mean? Like on a video or a stream, and I wouldn't feel bad about that. Maybe the 3 stacking stuff, some people don't like it. My opinion is find people who are good at the game, do whatever you can in your power, communicate with others, try to try to get a network of friends or, people that are of good skill and that you can get those high kill games with, because not only does it, make your stats look good, not only does it help you separate yourself and establish yourself as a high kill player, as a good player, you're actually learning good habits. You're learning how to play at that level successfully. You know what I mean? Because playing at pubs, being like a pub stomper, which is not a negative word at all, in my opinion. Playing as a pub stomper, being a pub stomper, takes a level of skill in itself, or it's a different skill set than playing ranked, right? In my opinion, or even playing in a tournament competitively, because I feel like playing in a tournament, it's a little bit of a mix between being a pub stomper and being in ranked, because you have to kind of be a pub stomper in like a ranked setting, right? You have, because when you're in pubs, you're not too worried about the ring. You're not too worried about positioning. You're kind of like brute forcing your way to the kills because you have good movement or you have good aim, right? And then when you're playing ranked, like high level ranked, you're kind of like, there's not really an incentive to get kills past 6, right? Or even a couple kills and a couple assists. There's no real incentive to do that, besides maybe if you're practicing for like a tournament like setting, you know what I mean? But so learning those skills in pubs where you're looting fast, you're moving fast, you have fast aim, you have fast movement, you're constantly moving from one fight to another, you're healing up fast, you're watching your back for other people, you're learning how to handle third parties. To me, that's all really valuable skills, at least for me, because what happens is then, and it does apply a little bit to ranked, maybe not as much as I feel like it applies to tournaments, but in ranked, one of the main problems in ranked, especially right now with Kings Canyon, is you are under such pressure and you have such a low window of time to actually kill a team successfully and then heal up and then get out of there or get to a better positioning before you get third partied by another team, that you kind of need to learn those fast-paced skills from being a pub stomper, because it helps you in that way in ranked. Because if you don't loot fast, if you don't heal up fast, if you sit around in ranked, you're going to get third partied, right? That's just how it is. You're going to get third partied. You're going to get a couple kills. You're going to die quickly. Excuse me. You're not going to get good placement. You're not going to have good positioning because you're still stuck at that one place you killed that one squad. And in my opinion, it's just not a good look. Now, in tournament style setting, you kind of need that ring positioning in ranked that you don't really care about in pubs. And then you kind of need to get those high kills that you wouldn't really care about in ranked, right? So playing tournament is like a little bit of both of those, right? You want to be super fast at getting kills. You want to be super fast at looting up, getting what you need to loot up, and then getting the hell out of there or already having position, right? Because you don't want to give up high ground. You want to be inside the ring. You want to be at a place where you only can expect people to push uphill to you, so that way they're at a disadvantage. You're not going to want to have a positioning where like someone like there's a second way to get attacked, because what happens is teams will pick up on that, enemy teams, and they will get you. They will attack you. They will either wait until the other squad has you low and then they'll go and clean both of you up, or they'll push with them and get you and then either back out of the fight before they fight that other team and not even engage with them. They'll pick the weaker team, whoever looks like they're getting killed more, and then they'll leave. Or they'll take your positioning and then fight the other squad too. That's another thing that happens. So in tournament, you really want to get those fast kills, right? And that's what I feel like the pros of, being with a pub stomper or high kill game, someone who gets high kills, in that way that I described earlier, that one guy, the guy that, fast loot, fast kills, get out of there, calls out your problems, but is understanding to, his problems too, or understanding to your situation, having that good team synergy, right? But I feel like if you're like in that habit of leaving to protect your KD, getting a couple kills and then going just to fluff your KD up, just to fluff your stats up, I feel like not only are you doing yourself a disservice by learning bad habits, and you can say what you want. You could say, oh, I play that way, but when I play seriously, it doesn't affect me. And you could lie, I feel like it's lying, I know, and I'm not talking about, oh, getting high kills and then playing bad, no. I'm saying like leaving the game before you get downed and stuff like that, and never even making it to those high kill games to begin with. Making it seem like you get high kill games, right? Seem, never actually really doing it. That is bad habits to learn, because first your patience, I feel like, is going to go, and then your actual exposure to like long games is going to go. Your frustration levels are going to be like, your tolerance to frustration is going to lower, and you're going to get angry easier. You're going to be mad at your teammates that they're not like doing what you think, like mentally, like they're not reading your mind. And like, I don't know, like I just feel like playing in that play style has so many negatives to it that there's really, the only positive is that you fluff your KD and you seem a certain way. But honestly, it's so like, you can't do anything with it, like you can't go on a stream and do that. Everyone will laugh at you and think you're an idiot, at least in my opinion. You can't like go in the community and like try to fucking, like I said, portray yourself that way on YouTube or Instagram or any social media, because people will expose you. I mean, you might get some attention. You might like flip it on its head and be like, oh, this is like how easy it is to cheat. It's all bullshit. Haha, I got you. You could troll, I guess. That would be something. I mean, if you can make some money out of it, do it for sure, or whatever, just, you're going to have a bad reputation, right? Unless you could flip it into a positive somehow and get the developers to like, I don't know, fix it. But then your main way of getting attention's gone. You know what I mean? Like, even then you could probably flip it and be like, oh, well, now I'm actually going to try, So there's always, there's always a way you could do something. You could always come back from it, right? But that's, a lot of people are going to be, that's morally ambiguous, right? Or whatever. It's like a lot of people are going to be like, I feel like that's not a solid way to build yourself. So, yeah, I feel like there's good examples of doing that, and there's bad examples of doing that, which are actually examples of not even doing it, or just being fake, So hopefully, if you're playing with someone who's using you as an anchor and they're just, going in, killing, and then leaving once they get downed and then ruining your game, hopefully this has helped you to go like, oh, hey, like recognize the pattern of what they're doing and going like, hey, these people are wasting my time. they're wasting their time really too, and I don't even want to be a part of this shit, right? So hopefully this has helped you guys out because honestly, that kind of I hate that. I mean, I hate playing with people like that. I don't hate those people because whatever. It's just a game. It's just an action. It's not hurting me. It's not harming anyone I know, so it's fine. Like I guess it's really annoying to play against those. So I guess I do kind of hate people that are like that, but it is what it is, right? I don't know. I don't know if I hate them, but I greatly dislike that kind of shit. Anyways, um, yeah. So if you find someone who's trying to push kills and then leaving you and then not even talking to you and then dying and then leaving before they die, ditch them. But if you're having someone who's trying to urge you on to go to the next place that tells you you're looting too long, that waits for you and then pushes or doesn't push that far or helps you out or like tries to help you get kills or tries to play in a fast-paced style of gameplay, maybe hold on to those guys because maybe they can it might be a little bit stressful than what you're used to, right, than just playing relaxed. But honestly, if you're trying to improve, those are the guys that are going to help you improve. you know those are the guys that are going to help you get to that like level of gameplay where you're getting as many kills as you can, getting as much damage as you can, getting as much exposure, taking as many teams on as you can, you know. And then in that setting, it can help you. That can translate over to like ranked. That can translate over to like competitive play. That really can. Um, the only time I might say that is bad is in like rank though. In the context that if you're pushing unnecessary amounts of team and you're already at 6 KP, you're already at max like kills and assists, and you're just pushing teams and like you're dying like in like top A, like in eighth place, like sixth place, like 12th place. Yeah, that's bad. That's when you need to turn it off and you need to go for positioning and you need to try to be the last man standing. That in that context, it would be bad, but that's what I'm saying is like that gameplay can help you in some ways, but it can hurt you in some ways if you're trying to do like, a different mode, if you're trying to do ranked or you're trying to do tournament, right? So you got to analyze it. You got to go, okay, what skills am I learning are actually useful to what I'm trying to do in other game modes, besides pub stomping and, you know, kind of, calling people out and reining it in, when it's too much, and also what I would say is having different groups, to having different friends for different things, right? I mean, ideally, you would want, a pub stomper that knows how to, get a lot of kills and ranked and then get, really late positioning, get to that end game. And that, same person who knows how to get a lot of kills fast in pubs and then, plays that way. And then in tournament, keeps positioning, keeps, advantages, keeps high ground, and then gets a lot of kills and then gets to the end game too, So ideally, you'd want that all in one person, all in one team, but in reality, that's a little bit hard, right? So I think it's good to have people that specialize in those things that can tell you, and then that lets you become like the most well-rounded player you can be if you're trying to make that your goal, right? If you're trying to get to that area of success, trying to get to that level of success in those different situations. So yeah, I think I think that was pretty good. Yeah, but yeah, you can definitely take some skills into like other game modes, but you can't take all of them, and you have to alter your level of play. I mean, you have to alter how you play. You know, based on what you're trying to achieve. Based on what your goal is. Based on what you're playing. Really, is what I mean. But yeah. And also what's within your like skill level, right? Within like what's in your range of like things you can get away with and can't get away with. because like this is what I mean. If you know like early game you excel at getting like 6 KP and then like ratting it out to like third place, second place, first place, if that's how you shine, then do that, you know. But this is what I mean too. This is an opposite to that. If you're more successful at ratting out the early game, getting those placement points in, you know, and then when the last 5 squads fight in that end ring, and you're better at like shooting people that are running around not entirely focused at you, and then getting those kills that way, getting like people that aren't, you know, that are panicking or solos because their whole squad's been wiped, or going around the edge of the ring and finding rats, you know, with your team. If that's how you get kills, then do it that way. You know what I mean? There's always different ways to do things. You know what I mean? There's not really one, you know, size fits all, you know. And then even in mid game, when the ring's closing, what you can do is you can stay outside of ring, you know, right on the edge of ring when it's closing. And then when people are panicking coming towards you, you can hold them at a ring, and then you're inside ring not getting damage, and they're outside ring and they're getting ticked on by the ring, you know, their health's going away. So they're going to be easier kills, they're going to be panicked, they're going to be moving, so they're not going to have placement. You know, these are all things people do, you know, these are all things like high level, you know, I would say high level players do, or at least players that are trying to work to every advantage possible, you know. So those are just some things to think about. Those are my personal thoughts on it. You know, I might go into like depth more on the next video on like how like what are the different styles of play I've noticed in like ranked or tournament, and like, you know, even to pubs to an extent. You know, with pubs it's kind of like you're not really, you know, it's a little bit different. But yeah, that might be my next video, and like going into like the different styles of play and like how to get points and stuff like that. That's more for battle royale though, because in arenas you can do that, you know, you can kind of hold people out of ring, you know, that's definitely a strategy, but it's a little bit different because you're, you know, facing one team, and it's like how to angle them out and how to, like, you know, if they're purposely putting themselves in a bad position, you know, what maps you can how you can do that on what maps, you know what I mean, like Party Crasher. You know, you can keep like the ship side, you know, and if they don't go ship and if they go buildings on the other side, you know, you can keep the high ground on ships, and then you can shoot down to them. And then sometimes they're forced down from the height anyways where the buildings are. And then you can, you know, shoot at them that way too. So there's definitely different ways to do it, you know, on the map with like the Wraith portals with the phase runners. You can get that white mountain, the snow mountain, and then you can head glitch down onto the people that are on the green side, the green field, you know, where the 2 cars are at. So there's definitely ways you can do that in, you know, arenas. You know, it's just a little bit different. But yeah, I think that'll be my next video. Anyways, see you guys.